Good day. We are Group 7 and we're going to discuss the Chapter 10 Strategy Implementation, Staffing and Directing. Next one. So the learning objectives are understand the link between strategy and staffing decisions, match appropriate manager to the strategy, understand how to implement an effective downsizing program, discuss important issues in effectively staffing and directing international expansion, assess and manage the corporate culture's fit with a new strategy, decide when and if programs such as MBO and TQM are appropriate methods of strategy implementation, formulate action plans. So, yon. Brayden, ikaw na.
So, guys, staffing, in staffing, it is a focus on the selection and use of employees. The implementation of new strategies and policies often calls for a new human resource management priorities, and the different use of personnel. Such staffing issues can involve the following. First one is hiring new people with new skill. So pagka sinabi dito sa hiring new people with new skills, yan yung sinasabi nating sila yung mga taong kailangan ng business natin para mag-develop pa or magkaroon ng progress na tinatawag. Kasi pag yung specific na tao na yon ay nagkaroon or nag-grant siya ng specific skills na appropriate doon sa ilalagay na position, maaring mag-bloom or maaring magkaroon ng progress. Lalo na yung mga skills na yon ay naaayon talaga doon sa trabahong yon. Second is firing people with inappropriate skills. So alam naman natin na aksaya sa oras or aksaya sa panahon at pera kung mag-hire tayo ng mga taong hindi naman nila kaya or hindi nila kayang i-attribute yung sarili nila doon sa specific job or specific task. Kung hindi naman lang nila magawa yon, pwede nating silang ilipat muna. So, yung firing people is dadating na yon, kumbaga hindi na nila kaya or hindi na nila magampanan yung task na ibinibigay ng isang business or ng isang management. Third is training existing employees to learn new skills. So, sa kada job, meron tayong tinatawag na specific skills or yung mga employees natin, meron silang mga existing or mga existing knowledge for their skills, kumbaga, pwede natin pang silang mas palawakin yung kanilang kaalaman or kanilang mga skills sa pamamagitan ng training or mga seminars. So, meron tayong mga seminars with mga matataas na tao, yung mga managers, yung kumbaga sila yung mga bihasa, yung mga kapag ambag na ng mga magandang mga knowledge para makatulong sa isang business. Kasi, kung mag-hire ka ng hindi naman appropriate doon sa isang job, parang kumbaga, mag-aaksaya ka lang ng panahon at saka maaring mapabagsak yung tinatawag niya development. Kasi hindi naaayon yung tinuro ng isang tao. So, yon, doon papasok ang training doon sa mga employees na nasa business na natin or sa ating company. So, yun yung staffing na sinasabi na parang implementation of new strategies and policies para sa mga human resource management or sa mga personnel na makakatulong sa ating business. So, next is changing hiring and training requirements. Having formulated a new strategy, corporation may find that it needs to either hire different people or retrain current employees to implement the new strategy. So first ay training and development higher productivity. So magkakaroon tayo ng training or yung tinatawag na yung sinasabi ko kanina na parang mas hahasain pa natin yung mga tao natin para mas mapabuti pa yung development. So dito, para malaman natin na mataas nga ba or nakakaroon nga pa ng development, kailangan natin magkaroon ng evaluation or yung tinatawag nating um, parang i-monitor mo yung isang group or isang tao kung siya ba ay nagkakaroon na ng development or parang ay siyang kumbaga sila yung mga tao na mapapagkatiwalaan ng business, dapat sila yung makapagpa-develop or makakapagpa ayos ng isang business, ganun. Second is reduction in waste. So pag tinawag na reduction in waste, kailangan niya naayon sa oras or naayon sa panahon yung pag-hire at pag-training ng mga tauhan. Kasi maaari itong contribute sa pagkasayang ng oras, sa pagkasayang ng pera, sa pagkasayang ng mga capital or mga ginamit na assets kung hindi naaayon yung mga training doon sa employee na gusto mong i-train, ganon. Third is overall cost savings. So, yun, tinatawag natin na, kumbaga, yung overall cost savings, kailangan naaayon yung pera or yung cost na kailangan para makapagpadaos ng isang training and development. Training. Ganon. So, other business na sobrang sikat ngayon tulad ng mga Jollibee ganyan, katulad din ng yun na lang ihambing ko na lang sa amin. Ang amin ay beverage company. So yung aming beverage company, para magkaroon kami ng gantong klase ng changing hiring and training requirements, parang sila na yung mga magiging employee namin, sila ay dadaan sa isang training or sa isang seminars. Kumbaga, sila, may knowledge sila sa gagawin, pero mas palalimin or mas parang dadagdagan pa namin yung kanilang knowledge para sila ay mag-develop or mag-work ng ayos sa aming company. So, tuturuan din namin sila kung paano gamitin ng ayos yung mga aming mga resources. Kumbaga, parang mas magiging productive and creative sila sa paggagawa ng aming product. So, ayun, sa reduction in waste, nasabi ko naman yung kanina, tsaka yung sa overall cost savings. So, next is matching the manager to the strategy. Matching the manager to the strategy, the most appropriate CEO of a company changes as a firm moves from one stage of development to another. So, yung manager daw, kumbaga siya ay nag-coexist sa ibang larangan. Kumbaga, siya ay maaring ma-promote or maari ba siyang malipat sa ibang larangan. So, ano nga ba yung mga types of manager? First ay executive type. Ang executive manager is a senior leader who oversees a company developmental, strategic, and financial decision. They establish department goals and budgets, implement policies and procedures, manage contracts and negotiations, and handle personnel decisions. So, ang executive manager, napakalaki ng kanyang role kasi siya yung nagbibigay ng mga strategic plan or siya yung parang sa mga decisions siya yung nangunguna lagi kung kailangan ba gawin to, kung kailangan ba gawin are, dahil ba kulang are, or dahil ba labis, kailangan ba nating isagawa yan or ganyan. Sila yung bahala sa mga financial decisions and sa mga strategic decisions as well. So, yung sa mga goals and budgets naman, napaka-importante niyan sa isang negosyo dahil kung makikita natin na ano ba ang goal kadalasan ng isang business. Kung tutuusin, ang goal ng isang business ay makapag-provide or makapagpalaganap kung ano man yung product or service nila. Parang gusto nilang i-produce yung product or services para sa mga tao. Para kumbaga magustuhan sila ng mga tao or maging viable or maging parang kumbaga magiging needs or magiging wants siya ng isang tao. Ano ba mga standards pagdating doon? So, sila yung naglalagay ng mga goals kung ano ba dapat gawin, kung ganto ba or ganyan. Tapos sa budgets naman, kailangan balance yung kumbaga secured in the future or sa mga darating pang panahon, kailangan balance. Kung dadating bang Pasko, kailangan ba magbaba kami ng mga product, ganyan, or pagdating ba ng January, ganito pa rin ba yung magiging status ng product natin, kung tataas ba yung sales or bababa. So sila yung, kumbaga, kailangan nilang mag-establish ng isang goals or ng kanilang goals or specific goals, tsaka yun sa budgets, para hindi dadating yung panahon na sila ay malulugi, ganyan. Nag-implement din sila ng policies and procedures and manage contracts and negotiations and handle personal decisions. So yung manage contract and negotiations, sila yung nakikipag-ugnayan sa mga malalaki ding kampanya para may handle or may introduce yung product na or service na pinahawakan ng isang kampanya. So next is dynamic industry expert. So ano nga ba 'yon? A dynamic industry expert is one who possesses expert knowledge of the industry. A company pursuing a concentration strategy that emphasizes vertical or horizontal expansion should look for a dynamic industry expert who has a lot of experience in that industry. So yung dynamic industry expert naman, sila yung talagang meron silang kabuuang kaalaman doon sa industry na inyong pinanghahawakan. Kumbaga, napag-aralan nyo yung mga ups and downs, yung mga weakness and strengths, mga ganyan, yung mga dynamic industry experts. So, next is analytical portfolio manager. So, ano ba yung mga portfolio managers natin? Ang portfolio managers need the right blend of analytical and personal skills. So, yung mga napapagdaanan ng business, kailangan nilang, kumbaga sila yung nag-analyze or sa mga skills or management ng mga tauhan, ganun. They manage teams of analysts and work with clients to create financial goals and continually monitor their mix of assets. So, sila yung nagmo-monitor ng mga assets. Ano ba yung mga assets natin? Yung mga equipment, yung mga ginagamit sa ating business para makapag-produce tayo ng isang product. Yung mga machineries, yan yung mga assets natin. Portfolio managers must be resilient and strategic leaders. Skills learned over years of professional development. So, sila talaga yung bihasa, kumbaga. Next is Quotient's profit planner. Ang tinatawag naman dito is profit planning is a vital part of any business plan structure for a small or medium business. Mapalaki man or mapaliit yung isang business, kailangan talagang yung profit or yung kita ng isang kampanya talagang nakaplano kung saan dadalhin. Kumbaga, yung mga sa business plan, kailangan naaayon yung pagdadala ng pera, hindi lang basta yung tapon dito, tapon doon. Parang kumbaga, malalaman mo kung kulang ba or sapat or labis, ganun. So, next. Next is selective in management development. These are important not only to ensure the people with the right mix of skills and experiences are initially hired, but also to help them grow on the job so that they might be prepared for future promotion. So, executive succession is the process of replacing a key top manager. So, yung dito naman sa selective and management development, kailangan daw maging prepare or yung mga parang mga pinopromote, ganun. Importante nga daw ito, hindi lang sa mga taong parang yung mix of skills and experiences, but doon sa mga taong matataas na pwesto, katulad ng yung mga executive manager, mga ganyan. Yun, sila ay, kumbaga sila ay kahit anong gawin nila, sila ay flexible. So, yung insiders and outsiders, ang mga insiders natin, yung mga the company's officers, directors, certain employees, certain consultants, and certain stockholders, and their family members. Diba na-discuss din naman ni Ma'am na yung mga stockholders natin dati are considered insiders. Insiders are subject to insider trading laws that affect the sale and purchase of the company stock. Sa mga outsider naman, outsider are those who have been hired to bring fresh ideas, competencies, and blood into the organization. But wala silang affiliation with the firm. Parang kumbaga hindi sila actually meron silang pinanghawakan gano'n, na meron silang pinanghawakan doon sa firm na yun. Hindi tulad sa insiders ng mga family members, mga employees, directors, mga gano'n. So next one is hindi ko pala na-explain yung sa ano. Yung sa executive succession kasi, parang yung the process of replacing a key top manager is planning or preparing for the eventual departure of key executives in leadership roles, either through retirement, promotion, or some other exit. So sabi ko nga kanina, yung kung sa mga promotion, yun yung sa executive succession. Promotion, retirement, or some other exit na tinatawag. This planning is typically done on a regular cadence so that companies can mitigate the risk of losing a senior management official. Kumbaga makakapag-adapt agad yung isang business, kumbaga kung magre-retire man yung executive manager or gusto niya lumipat as a lower, parang gusto niya maging mababa yung pwesto niya, parang magiging prepare yung business para mapalitan agad, para magkaroon man ng conflict ay hindi maapektuhan yung business. Yun. Yung tinatawag na executive succession planning. Next is identifying abilities and potential. Identifying abilities and potential, company can identify and prepare its people for important positions in several ways. Job rotation, moving people from one job to another. So, yung identifying abilities and potential, kailangan ang business natin is marami silang access sa employees. Kumbaga, sa human resource, yung mga files ng isang employee, talagang kailangan nakadikta doon kung ano yung mga kayang gawin or yung kung viable ba siya sa ganito or sa ganyan. Para kumbaga, kung magkakaroon man ng job rotation sa mga people, parang magkakaroon ng yun, ng rotation niya is mapapanatili yung pagpapalawak or pagpapa-develop ng isang business. Hindi maapektuhan kung ano man yung maging resulta or effect hindi magkakaroon ng conflict, in short, ganun. Andito din yung pine-prepare yung mga tao para sa mga important positions in a several ways. Katulad ng mga sa mga training, ganon, nagiging flexible or parang kahit biglaan man na magkakaroon ng isang problema or kaya ng tauhan na palitan yung position na yun or gampanan. Ganon. Problems in retrenchment. Downsizing, sometimes called right sizing or resizing. It refers to the planned elimination of positions or jobs. Guidelines that have been proposed for successful downsizing. Eliminate unnecessary work instead of making across-the-board cuts. So, yung dito, tinatawag na kailangan yung mga trabaho ay naaayon lang. Kumbaga, hindi yung mga trabaho na parang OA na kailangan putol yun. Kumbaga, may mas maikli namang paraan ng paggagawa ng trabaho na yon, mas doon na lang. Makakalas ka pa ng pagod or makakalas pa ng energy, makakalas pa ng mga gagamitin para makapagbuo ka ng service or product. Next is contract out work for cost savings. Sa mga contract naman to ng mga employees na kailangan or sa mga contract na ginagampanan ng isang business, kailangan naaayon pa din yung panahon or yung pera na nakalaan doon sa contract na yon. Plan for long run efficiencies, yun naman sa mga pagbibuild or sa mga paggawa ng, kumbaga, kailangan efficient yung plano na gagawin. Long run meaning parang yung habang sa patagal is efficient pa rin siya para doon sa business na tackle or business na pinanghawakan. Katulad na lang doon sa aming business, beverage company. Ano ba ang kailangan gawin para maging efficient pa rin siya sa mga dadating na panahon? Kailangan meron plano dyan. Ayun. So, ang plano namin para nga, kumbaga, ang business namin ay makilala pa rin, is patuloy naming gagawin yung goal namin. Parang yung goal namin is to provide good health and good fruit drinks for the people. So yon, kailangan namin panindigan, kailangan namin kumbaga paninindigan mo kung ano, kahit ano man ang mangyayari. Ganyan. Parang pagmamahal lang. Adi ayun, next is invest in remaining employees. Kailangan develop value-added jobs to balance out job elimination. So, kailangan dun sa mga tauhan na natira, kailangan mag-invest ka ng pera para kumbaga um, sila yung kumbaga sila yung nagpapatakbo ng sa loob ng isang negosyo eh. Sila yung nagpapatakbo ng kung paano yung paano ka magkakaroon ng isang product. Hindi ka naman makakapagbuo ng product kung wala kang mga employee. So, kailangan mag-invest ka. Mag-invest ka ng time tsaka ng pera para doon sa mga taong yon. Pangalagaan, kumbaga. Develop value-added jobs to balance out job elimination. So, ayun, parang yung sa mga value-added jobs naman, kailangan balance yung pag-eliminate ng mga trabaho. So, kung may tinagtag kang isang trabaho, kailangan yung trabahong inalis mo is nakarapat dapat lang na alisin. Hindi yung kailangan alisin kasi gusto mo lang. Parang kumbaga may reason. Next ay international issues in staffing. Companies that do a good job of managing foreign assignments follow three general practices. First is when making international assignments, they focused on transferring knowledge and developing global leadership. Second is they make foreign assignments to people whose technical skills are matched or exceed by their cross-cultural abilities. Third is they end foreign foreign assignments with a deliberate repatriation process with career guidance and jobs where the employees can apply what they learned in their assignments. So, first ay when making international assignments, they focus on transferring knowledge and developing global leadership. So, ang magiging sa managing dito, kailangan daw yung mga international assignments ay nakafocus doon sa pag-transfer ng knowledge or sa pag-develop ng global leadership. So, ano ba yung tinawag sa mga tinatawag na transferring knowledge? So, kailangan din natin magkaroon ng mga knowledge na kailangan ng iba. Kailangan nating i-share, parang kumbaga mapalawak pa yung kumbaga may alam tayo na hindi nila alam. So, pag nagkaroon tayo ng transferring of knowledge, mas matutulungan natin ng isa't isa, kumbaga magkakaroon ng companionship or relationship. So, developing global leadership, kailangan kumbaga ikaw yung mag-dominate or kailangan ikaw yung magkaroon ng malaking impact doon sa nangyaring global leadership. So, second is they make foreign assignments to people whose technical skills are matched or exceeded by their cross-cultural abilities. So, ano pag sinabing cross-cultural abilities? Ito yung mga competency ng isang tao. So, yung mga competency yon or mga core competency na yon, ayun yung mga kanilang mga unique skills na maaaring makapag-provide ng magandang development doon sa kanilang business. So, kailangan match daw ang assignments na sa natawag niya tao. So, third is they end foreign assignments with a deliberate repatriation process with career guidance and jobs where the employees can apply what they learned in their assignments. So, yung career guidance and jobs, kailangan daw magkakaroon ng guidance dun sa mga trabaho na pinapasukan ng employees para hindi magulo, kumbaga nasa ayos or parang magiging or ordained or parang organized, ganon, na pwede nilang i-apply yung mga natutunan nila doon sa assignments na pinagawa sa kanila. So, ayun lang. Thank you.
So, yon. Thank you, Mr. Graydon. So, now let's proceed to the strategy implementation, leading. Leading involves coaching people to use their abilities and skills most effectively and efficiently to achieve organizational objectives. Without direction, people tend to do their work according to their personal view of what tasks should be done, how, and in what order. So dito, ito yung parang way mo kung paano mo pag pamumunuan yung isang company. So, parang tinutukoy dito yung pagiging mahusay na leader. So, if you're leading, then leading implementation, change of culture or the change of staffing. So, kailangan mo maging isang leader na dun sa mga taong pamumunuan mo to get them or to bring out the best in them. So, sa pagiging mahusay na leader is ito yung kakayahan ng tao and yung abilities nito. So, also leader needs to provide direction for people to be able to do their work. So, next po. So, dito naman sa managing corporate culture, um, if you have a very strong corporate culture, it can be resistant to change. So, kailangan ng changes to a resisting culture, to a culture that is more optimal to support news para doon sa new mission statements and new strategies. So, the management must figure it out if merong gagawing pagbabago sa isang strategy or what is that effect going to be on a corporate culture and ano yung need na gawin to have the culture change doon sa pagkakaroon ng new strategy kung ano yung additional cost that could there be. So, yun. Next po. Next is the assessing strategy culture compatibility. So now, if you're proposing a new strategy, how compatible it with the current culture of the company? So yun yung unang bagay na dapat nating titingnan. And also, is a culture one that will be modifiable, um, that will be able to take on the new strategy and dun sa paggagawa ng changes para sa new strategy na ginawa is para maging successful. Is the management willing and able? So dito, yung willing na sinasabi, it is mean that they have the foresight and understanding to do so. And able meaning they have the power to make organizational changes to accept probable delays and like increase in cost. So in some cases, yung pagde-develop nung um, new strategy, unexpected cost of delays may occur. So sa isang organization, dapat mayroon tayong strict changes to accommodate. So, pa-next po. So here's the little figure about the strategy culture compatibility. So, is the proposed strategy compatible with the company culture? If yes, tie changes into the culture. And then if no, can the culture be easily modified to be more compatible with the new strategy? If no, that's if no, the management willing to make major organizational changes to accept the delay in likely costs. If yes, the manager around the culture establish new structure or new unit implement a new strategy. If no, management is still committed to the new strategy. Then if yes, they must find a new way or joint venture or partner to carry the company, and no, if no, they must formulate different strategy. So, ito yung a sort of a framework that assessing the strategy corporate culture. So, pa-next po. So, dito naman po sa managing cultural change through communication. Dito is sinasabi na communication is really the key. So, sa mga company na mayroong major cultural changes is magiging parang successful lang ito if mayroon tayong high level of communication. So here, the CEO and other top managers had a strategic vision that they have to be able to communicate that vision to the employees of all para para din maintindihan nila ito kung bakit mahalaga sa isang organization yung pagkakaroon ng cultural change through communication. Also, so they have to take a this vision to uh, the new strategy and translate it into smaller key elements that gonna be necessary to accomplish the vision. Next po. So, yan. Dito naman sa managing diverse culture following an acquisition. So, the people of the company and what they really feel will be more the most successful way for the company to move forward, and also looking at the culture and how confident the company is. So, yon. The choice of which method to use should be based on how much members of the acquired firm value preserving their own culture. Second is how attractive they perceive the culture of the acquirer to be. So, pa-next na po. Dito naman po sa methods of managing the culture of an acquired firm. First is the integration. It gives it's a give and take in trying to balance both cultures together to make the best possible cultures out of the remnants of the two companies. Ito yung two companies together as equals. Yung sunod naman is the assimilation. So dito, it means you're dominating one culture is gonna be dominate over the other culture. Assimilation also, it is the acquiring firm na kung saan ito yung more powerful firm who's buying the other firm, and um, mas pinapanatili nito yung culture intact, and then try and change the firm na to acquire yung corporate culture. So it's trying to assimilate the company and then bring on board with their culture. So next is the separation. Dito naman is involved yung two company cultures, and kalakip dito yung two separate cultures and two separate company. Lastly is the deculturation. Deculturation. This is a form, this is a forced replacement of any culture, conflicting culture of acquiring company. So this one would parang aggressive. So yon. So yun lang. Miss Trixie, your turn.
Um, Action planning is an approach rather than a specific method which help focus ideas and decide what steps you need to take to achieve particular goals. Develop an action plan can help change markers, turn their vision into reality, and increase efficiency and accountability with an organization. An action plan describes the way your organization will met its objective through detailed action steps that describe how and when this step will be taken. Next. Um, Take the example of a company choosing forward vertical integration through the acquisition accu- acquisition of a retailing chain as its growth strategy. Once it owns its own retail outlet, it must integrate to the store into the company. First, specific action to be taken to make the program operational. 2. Dates to begin and each action. 3. Person identified by name and title responsible for carrying out each action. 4. Person responsible for monitoring the timeliness and effectiveness of each action. 5. Expected financial and physical consequence of each action. 6. 6. Contingency plan. Next po. Management by objective, it is refers to process of setting specific objects for your employees to work toward. This has become a key part of performance management in recent decades. Supporters of management by objective saying giving employees clear goals improves motivation. Some of the main benefits include improved communication between management and employees. Management by objective requires continuous two-way communication to monitor progress toward objectives. This provides numerous opportunities to clarify regarding individuals' roles and expectations and to adjust, clarify regarding individuals' roles and expectation to adjust objective if needed. Next po. Um, yan. The management process involves first establish and communicating organization objective. 2. Setting individual objective through superior subordinate interaction that help implement organization ones. 3. Developing an action plan of activities needed to achieve the objective. 4. At least quarterly reviewing performance as it relates to the objective and include the results in the annual performance appraisal. Next po. Total Quality Management TQM. The purpose of total quality is a management approach that seeks seek to to, to provide long-term success by providing unparalleled customer satisfaction through the constant delivery of quality IT service. And the most important focus is to improve customer satisfaction by having customers focus and consistently, meaning customer expectation. Customers are almost always satisfied when their expectations are met. Next po. Pabalik po. Total quality management essential ingredients are first, an intense focus on customer satisfaction. Two, internal as well as external customers. Three, accurate measurement of every critical variable in a company operations. 4. Continuous improvement of products and service. 5. New work relationship based on trust and teamwork. Next po. Internal consideration in leading. The strategic consideration of international before any progress can be made. You need to understand your competition and target audience with the areas as well as any local trends that may affect your similarity. Consider how end product or service can adapt to this market. Next, next po. Power distance is the extent to which a society accepts an unequal distribution of power in organization. 2. Uncertainty avoidance is the extent to which a society feels treated by uncertain and ambig- ambiguous situation. 3. Individualism. Collectivism is the extent to which a society values individual freedom and independence of loyalty to the group. Action compared with a tight social framework. And 4. Masculinity permitti is the extent to which society oriented toward money and things, which have save levels. Masculate or toward people which has stayed levels feminine. 5. Long-term orientation is the extent to which society is oriented towards the long versus the short term. Next.
Ma'am, that's all po.
So, yan po. Thank you po.
Thank you very, very much.